Talk shoes. Recorded live.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Travis and Vic's Drunken Horror Adventures, and this is part 2 of Sawtober, which means we're discussing Saw 2 and Saw 3 tonight. What's up, everybody? I'm Travis, and I'm joined by the big fella, Vic. What's going on, buddy?
What is up, my people? The party people in the building. What's up, brother?
Same shit, different day. Getting in a podcast before I head to Florida tomorrow for Halloween Horror Nights. Gonna go to the Saw Haunted House down there.
You have to brag about it.
It's gonna be awesome. What can I say? So,
I got some friends down there right now, and it looks fun.
Yep. So Saw 2 is the first one we're going to talk about. It came out in 2005, actually October 28th, 2005. And this was the first Saw movie I saw at the theaters, Vic. And what do you think this movie got on IMDb? Last week we mentioned Saw got 7.7. So what do you think this one got?
We're going to go with 6.9.
It is 6.6 on IMDb. So it drops 1.1.
I was going to say that, but I was like, no, he probably got a little bit better than that.
Well, we'll see if people are stupid or not here in a minute. So, this movie is actually directed by Darren Lynn Bousman, and I know him from Repo, the Genetic Opera. That's mainly where I know him from. But this movie is also written by him, along with Lee Wannell, who was the one who helped write the first one. He also played Adam in the first Saw movie. So, you get a lot of the same people coming back other than James Wan,
Yeah, no doubt.
So like I said, this movie came out October 28th, 2005. It had a budget, and they've upped the budget because the first one was $1.2 million. This one had a budget of $4 million, so they increased their budget by $2.8 million or so, and they grossed $87,039,965 in the U.S. Pretty damn impressive for a movie that cost $4 million to make. You see why Saw was coming out every Halloween,
Oh, yeah. What did the first one gross? Do you remember? You know off the top of your head?
I can't remember offhand, but I can tell you in just a second. Blake said that he had a different number than me, but I think that was adjusted for inflation and maybe factoring in worldwide. So I'll tell you what it made in the U.S. So we're talking a year apart. The first Saw came out in 2004. The next one came out in 2005. The first Saw brought in $56 million. So a big increase by $43 million. That's pretty damn impressive.
Yeah, no doubt.
$42 million. You don't see, or $41 million rather. You don't see sequels usually take in more than the original.
I know. That's why I was serious. Yeah.
That's big shit. They increased the budget, they increased the profit, and all is well. Well, let's go ahead and get into things because this is one that look, Sawtober is special to me because, like I said, I used to see all these movies at the theater every single year, and then they would come out on DVD or Blu-ray right around my birthday and Valentine's Day. So at the time, it was always cool to be able to anticipate this. It's something that has been missing, and we get it back this year. It's been a while, but so let's go ahead.
I still find it odd that he didn't see the first one in the theater, though.
It was one of those things where word of mouth got out, but I just never got to get out to the theater at the time.
Yeah, I got it. I don't know. I just find it weird.
Yeah. Well, I never saw.
Watching that for free.
Yeah. Well, all right. So this movie opens up, and you've got this guy Michael, who's apparently a police informant. That's what we get out of the Jigsaw tape here at the start. And he finds himself ensnared in a trap, of course, created by the Jigsaw killer, our good old buddy Tobin Bell. And you get the videotape message that tells him that he's got a Venus flytrap-like helmet full of spikes, that's locked around his neck. And they really zoom in on this thing, and basically it tells you that if he doesn't do what he's supposed to do, just like in the last one, this thing's going to close on his head. I think in a lot of ways this thing's more vicious than the jaw trap. Not quite as vicious, but the thing about this is that it's kind of like a medieval torture device,
Oh, it really is. It's pretty gruesome.
So this guy, he's a police informant, and he uses his eye to spy on people and then tell on people. And he has to find the key. And you see that he's bleeding around his eye, like his eye is all fucked up. And Jigsaw tells him that there's a clue. And there's an X-ray on the screen, and it tells him that the key's been implanted behind his right eye. That is fucking nasty, first of all. Second of all, to get to it, what does he have to do? He has a scalpel, and he has to cut out his own fucking eye in order to get to this key. And I don't know about you, Vic, but I'd be dead. That's it. That's a wrap for me.
How teeth make you disgusted, make you hate life? Well,
yep.
Even having eyes makes me hate life, and that's why I love Hospital so much. And this is I turn away. I turn away every time I see this. I can't do it.
It's fucking disgusting. I mean, well, it's not even like he does it because he doesn't have the balls to do it. And you know what? Neither would I. I have no fucking. I can't say a thing about it. Yeah, there's no fucking way I'd cut my eye out. I would do what he did, drop the scalpel after thinking about doing it for a minute, scream like a bitch, and then die. And that's basically what happens to him. I mean, that's pretty much how it goes.
What else you gonna do, man? Like me.
Yeah, it's just horrible, man. There's no fucking way I would do this. So I'd be dead, and that'd be that. All right. Well, so then we flash scenes to we get Donnie Wahlberg, who's playing Detective Eric Matthews in this movie, and he's arguing with his fucking kid, who I would have smacked around if I were him. His name's Daniel, and after they have this argument, because this kid basically got arrested for stealing something, a little delinquent. Eric Matthews gets called to the scene of another death, perpetrated by the Jigsaw Killer, because the reason why he's called there, because he's not on this type of work anymore. His name's actually on the ceiling. It says, "Look closer, Detective Matthews," and he's like, "What the fuck?" And of course, you got the chick from the first one who I said that she showed her cans in Starship Troopers. She looked good again. She's getting older, but she still looked good. So on this one, we have a padlock on the Iron Maiden-like device around the victim's neck, and it, and this is the guy that we had just been introduced to, and it bears a Wilson Steel logo, and so they figure, okay, maybe there's something going on there. So he gathers a SWAT team. They bust into this abandoned factory, and it's basically another layer of Jigsaws now. How much fucking real estate does this dude own? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, apparently he owns a whole lot.
He's on that Obamacare. He doesn't have to pay for his cancer treatment. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how that works. I just know that they have better health care than I do. And that's bullshit.
I don't think Obamacare covers that, man.
Yeah. No, that sucks to be him. So they find this other layer of Jigsaws, and you got a set of computer monitors, kind of like in the last one. Whenever Danny Glover and his Asian partner busted in, Vic got upset because there was an Asian guy, and it shows several people that are trapped in a mysterious house, it looked like an abandoned house, and in there is Daniel, Detective Matthews' son. And you've also got a timer here with less than 2 hours left. And Jigsaw, you can tell, is fucked up in this movie because, he's got brain cancer, and he's just sitting there Like, and when they come in and tell him to get on his feet, he's like, I'm afraid I can't do that. And, that's kind of the whole story of this franchise, is that, Jigsaw's going to die at some point. So what the hell's going to go on from there, and when's he going to die? And it's clear that there is some progression between the first movie and this movie,
Yeah. Yeah. Yes, sir.
So, Jigsaw tells Detective Matthews that he'll see his son in a safe, secure state if he can sit in the room and just talk with him long enough. Which you're like, what the fuck? What is Jigsaw up to? But this is really the first time we get a whole lot of John Kramer, Jigsaw. I mean, because you barely see him in the first one, but now he's playing a much bigger role in this one, and you kind of get that charisma, because I would compare his charisma to like a Robert Englund. He has a certain charisma, you know what I'm saying? Like Tobin Bell does, and I think that's what makes this.
I mean, honestly, this series kind of made Tobin Bell like a horror god. You know what I'm saying? Like, this did for him like no one else could do for Robert Englund. It makes sense.
Yeah, he's going to go down in history as a guy that is an icon now, and all because of the series, and it's still going. So, all right. So in the house now, we go to the house. And you've got all these kidnapped people who are trying to figure out how the fuck they got there. It's just like the first one, except you've got more people. So lots of different storylines going on here. And one person's passed out on the floor, and it turns out to be Amanda Young, played by Shawnee Smith. Not looking so great in this movie. I think that's by design, too. You know what I mean? Her hair's all fucked up, and she looks drugged out.
I love Shawnee Smith.
Yes. But you'd have to agree this is probably the worst she's looked, right?
Yes, no doubt.
I mean, I'd still smash. I'm not saying... apparently she was pregnant during this movie, so that might explain something.
That's awesome.
Yeah, she's a badass. So, yeah, we remember her from the first one. She was the one that was able to escape her trap and said that Jigsaw saved her. Well, we'll get more into her story here in a minute. There's 6 other people in addition to Daniel and Amanda, and none of them knows who the others are. Everybody's a stranger to each other. And Amanda, when she wakes up, she's freaking the fuck out, because she's figured out, oh, shit, I'm back in a situation like I was in, in the first movie. And she starts just going nuts throughout this whole building, and she finally finds a cassette player, and, a note falls to the floor. And she plays the cassette, and they all basically find out that the house will open in 3 hours. But there's a toxic nerve gas leaking into the house, which will kill them in 2 hours. Jigsaw mentioned something about, like, the Chinese train disaster or whatever it was that killed all these people. I don't know anything about it, but I assume it was a true story.
Sure. Sounds good to me.
So now this movie turns into one big scavenger hunt, because they're all looking for the antidotes, which are hidden throughout the house. And one of these is actually in a safe in the room with them, but the combination to which is said to be in the back of their mind, which is interesting, because Jigsaw, he doesn't say things lightly. You know what I mean? You got to pay attention to what he says, and it all makes sense in the end. So we're all like, what the fuck are you talking about? So the tape, it also says that the key to how they are connected to each other is marked by an X, which we'll get into again later. Okay, well, meantime, you've got Gus, who's this fucking, I don't know, he looks like a lawyer or something. He's a businessman type guy. The note says something like, this key should not be used to open this door, and him and this Mexican dude, Xavier, they're arguing about it, and they're like, no, fuck this, let's try it. So Xavier attempts to unlock the door with a key found with the note that says, don't attempt to use the key on the door to this room. Well, when he does it, a fucking shotgun shoots this guy. Well, I don't know if it's a shotgun, but a gun shoots this guy who's looking out the peephole, Gus, that is. So we get our first casualty in this house, like, almost immediately. It's like, fuck, man, why can't you follow directions? Us guys, we don't read directions. We'd all be dead.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? We're male. We don't read directions. We'd be fucked. Then it's kind of funny that the female said, but the directions say. Oh, well. So now we kind of get like an intercut between Jigsaw's lair as Matthews is talking with Jigsaw. He's basically trying to buy time while the video signal's being traced. And, the captive's in the house